Okay, so a lot of times I'll actually get asked about how to retouch men. And so that's why I included this in my class today. Because even though a lot of the concepts are the same, you really want to protect men that you photograph against over smooth skin. So we're going to go back to we're going to tap in on our knowledge that we got in our skin smoothing lesson. And we'll just come in and we'll apply that to our gentleman here. So we've got our male model here, and for this example, I don't necessarily want to use skin highlight, but what I would like to do is use skin low light because it's a little bit less sharpening. All right, and so what we'll do is we'll come in here and we'll go ahead and just start painting in this effect. And as you can see, you're starting to see some of that skin smoothing effect over the areas. I hope you guys can see that in the video. And so for this example, what I want to do is I actually want to avoid the area of his chin and his lower jaw because there is a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. And I've been playing around recently with the dehaze slider, and I found a quick tip that I want to show you guys next. But before we do that, we've got our skin smoothing here. If I hit my mask overlay, you can see, oh, look, I forgot an area. You can see the area where I've applied the mask overlay to and the skin smoothing. I'll go ahead and hit O again just to turn that off. And let's, just as before, we'll right click and we'll just choose duplicate to duplicate that mask. Now you can see that this is way over smoothed, okay? I know that. We're gonna click and we're gonna drag the second mask to put it right next to it so that we know these two are grouped together. And then with the second mask still activated, we'll double click the word effect to zero out that tool, okay? And then just as before, we're gonna add a little bit of sharpening, actually a lot of sharpening, I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of sharpening, and then we're gonna decrease our noise reduction, which is going to bring back some of that subtle skin texture look to this secondary pin. Now, I love the way that looks, and if I turn this on and off, you can see that the skin color and tone have been mitigated and changed, all right, and smoothed out, but I haven't lost the detail of the skin. Ding, 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 ding. If you can take one thing home that I am a super stickler about, it's gonna be skin smoothing where you're not protecting the detail of the skin. It's super important, and you need to be able to do that in Photoshop, and you need to be able to do that in Lightroom. So with the advent of the duplication of the pin, it's really, really great to be able to add that texture back in. And I love it. So now let's move on to what happens if we have a 5 o'clock shadow. So we'll come and scroll down to the bottom of his jawline here, and we'll create a new adjustment brush. But what we want to do is double click the word effect to zero out. The only thing we want to change is come into our dehaze slider and add just a little bit less of dehaze. So dehaze means it's going to be more contrasty if you add values to it, meaning the plus values. But if you use any of the minus values, it means it's making it a little bit more hazy. And the dehaze slider is absolutely not meant for skin or portrait retouching whatsoever. But it's just one of those happy accidents that you find something that actually works and a good application for it. So what I'm doing is I'm just hovering over the area of where he has a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, and you can see it start to soften the the little bit of stubble that he has, which is crazy. I have no idea how I figured this out, but I think it's just really funny that it just softens that area down there just like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll move this down. We'll go ahead and accept the changes for this. And then we'll choose our light switch to turn all of the things that we've done on and off. So now his skin is smooth, but it doesn't necessarily look like he shaved 8 hours ago. Maybe it just now looks like he shaved about 3 hours ago instead of 8 hours ago. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this lesson on retouching men in Lightroom, and we're gonna move on to our next lesson.